The AC-42 is possibly the most unique AR we have seen in Battlefield 2042 so far. Its bullpup design and 3-round hyperburst both set it apart from the others. It boasts an insane 1200 rounds per minute rate of fire, and in skilled hands it is capable of melting entire enemy squads. The damage profile on this weapon is 50, which is on the lower end for an AR, but this is compensated for by the burst. And the magazine capacity of 21 is also a bit on the low side, however there is a high cap mag available, which we'll see later. In this video I will show you what I feel to be the best loadout setup for the AC-42, whether you are a low, medium or high tier mastery with this weapon. Before I do that though, let's take a look at how to be effective with the AC-42. By the way, please help me reach more people with this content by hitting that like button and subscribing, so you don't miss out on any future videos. Moving back to the topic at hand, the AC-42 works best when firing from a hidden position. As you can see here, at medium range I am able to drop an enemy squad rapidly, as I don't have to worry about moving to avoid being shot. The AC-42 is a burst fire weapon, and in my experience it is much better to shoot while stationary. However, you will still rarely get the opportunity to stand still and shoot, so when you must move and shoot, try to make sure your target is either moving toward or away from you, as the hyperburst is not well suited to targets moving horizontally. You must also be sure to maximise your use of cover to ensure you remain hidden from all but your current target if possible, as burst fire is not great at dealing with groups all at once. Any small piece of cover can work for this. The point is to divide and conquer. As you can see here, I split the area into two parts. The first part is the rooftop and the second is the interior of the building below. By moving around this air conditioning unit, I can conceal myself from one group while I deal with the other. Now the AC-42 does have other uses. I was actually quite surprised at how well I did with this setup here. Equipping a bipod and long-range scope transforms the AC-42 into a burst marksman rifle. You can also use it at surprisingly long ranges so long as you switch to semi-automatic, but my absolute favourite was using it inside the stadium on Hourglass. So now you know how to put the AC-42 to use, let's have a look at how to set it up next. Okay gamers, if we go into our collection now and have a look at the AC-42, we can select it. In here we've got all our options. Now on the inner ring here I've set up our first low tier setup, and if we go into here you can see we've got the 8R Hollow as our sight. You unlock that pretty early. On the ammo section we've got the standard issue ammo obviously. Then if we move on to the grip area, we've got the light grip BCG style, and then the long barrel. That's the good beginner setup. And next up we've got our mid-tier setup, and that looks a bit like this. So we have the UH1 Smart 1.5 as our starting one, and then we can switch to the Maul Hybrid at 1.5 to 3 times. That gives you a good bit of mid to long range capacity there. Obviously standard issue ammo, but extended mags makes up to 39 rounds, which greatly improves your firepower. And then we got the subsonic rounds here, with the standard issue being moved into third place. We've switched out our grip now for the LWG grip and also added this Rattlesnake light grip, and those are basically interchangeable whether you're static or moving. And finally in the barrel we've still got our extended barrel, but of course we've now equipped a suppressor. Now you can have the Type 4 Heavy or you can have the other one, doesn't really matter which. They're both unlocked at a similar time. Now let's have a look at our top tier setup. Okay, so for our top tier setup, we've got the K8 holographic as our default, the UH1 Smart as our middle, and of course we have got some long range action on this gun as well, so we've got the M11 6 times. Moving on to the ammo, of course we've got the standard issue extended mag as our top tier. Then we've got the subsonic as an optional, and finally the high power rounds. Now I hardly ever use these, but better than the standard issue, might as well equip them. We've got our LWG grip and our Rattlesnake light grip as before, but now we've equipped the bipod specifically to use with the scope. Finally, as our go-to now, we've got the Warhawk compensator. This has vertical recoil control with no downside, so that's the top one. Then of course we've got our suppressor and our extended barrel. And that is the top tier setup I use. So now you know how to become a master of the burstfire style. Get out there and rack up some kills. I'm off now to do the same. Just try not to incur the wrath of the whole enemy team as I did here. The beastly bursts do have their limits. Thanks for watching.